I love multiverse movies, and in today's modern era of films, it seems like there has been a splurge of movies revolving around the concept. There are now games that have adopted this idea, and even the old DCEU is following in the footsteps of Marvel, with the new Flash movie pretty much resetting the entire universe. We first got a taste of Marvel playing with multiversal elements in WandaVision and Loki. Loki being a fantastic introduction into the multiverse and a good explanation as to why the multiverse is happening. Flash forward to December 2021 and we receive our first MCU multiverse movie with Spider-Man No Way Home. A really fun time was had with No Way Home, and the hype leading up to this movie was insane. My Jeffrey days were spent on scouring the internet for leaks and leaks and more leaks. I did this for weeks and weeks leading up to the premiere of this motion picture. Toby and Andrew coming to reprise their roles? The hype was unreal. For Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? I was still excited, but not nearly as excited as I was for Spider-Man. But I believe that both of these features were great multiverse movies. But which one is better? I could go on and on about which cameos I liked more, but this isn't about me. This is about you. So today, we will be pinning them up against each other, and we will find out which one is better. We will be using these 7 principles to correctly decipher which is the better multiversal film. Whichever movie has the most points by the end of the video will be crowned the multiversal movie king. So let's not waste any more time and start with the first round. Each movie has a really good and coherent plot. Both Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home are able to use the multiverse to craft a really well done narrative. Multiverse of Madness follows Doctor Strange as he tries to help America Chavez from the clutches of Wanda Maximoff. Spider-Man No Way Home continues a story of Far From Home, which has you follow Peter Parker as he tries to fix everyone knowing that he is Spider-Man. So, which will be receiving the first point? Well, I'm going to have to give this one to Spider-Man No Way Home. Multiverse of Madness was good, and I really liked how it's basically a sequel to WandaVision. But No Way Home offers a fantastic narrative, and in retrospect, a great Spider-Man story. Having Spider-Man sympathize with all the villains that have been brought into the MCU and seeing him try to fix everything while losing Aunt May in the process was gold. So I guess you could say that I'm a sucker for the Spider-Man story. I am also a huge fan of that final swing. Next up, we have pacing. I'm not going to beat around the bush and say that both movies have excellent pacing because they don't. Multiverse of Madness wins this one easy. On the first watch of No Way Home, it's great. The pacing seems fine. Keyword, seems. And the hype that was supported is destroyed on the second and third watch. The first 30 minutes of No Way Home are kind of a snooze fest. Besides Matt Murdock. When we start, our attention is immediately kidnapped, abducted, and harassed. Sexually and otherwise. So round 2 goes to the Strange Doctor. Now we come to what I believe is the best part about both movies. The villains in No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness are strong antagonists to the protagonists. Wanda and Norman Osborn are the vocal points in their respective films, but I'm going to have to give the third point to the Green Goblin. Gabi is a really great antagonist to the spectacular Spider-Man. He is able to really build and grow Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Peter being double-crossed by Goblin after all he's been doing is trying to help him is such a great piece to the storytelling. It also adds to the multiversal elements because Gabi is not from this multiverse. I love how much of a menace Green Goblin is. He really tests to see how far Peter is willing to go to be the hero that the city of New York needs. No Way Home is mentioned throughout the Marvel community as the movie that fixed MCU Spider-Man. And I agree, but what I think really fixed the MCU wall crawler was Green Goblin. Because without Norman Osborn's nefarious affairs, MCU Spider-Man would have never been fixed. He would have remained the same Spider-Man that we've known for the better part of 5 years. Green Goblin showed Peter Parker the consequences of our choices. Wanda as a villain was great, and I don't think they could have chosen a better antagonist. But Green Goblin is way more sadistic, and really develops Peter's character as a superhero. For the next round, we have identity. Now, what I mean by identity is style. Which movie has more swagger? Now, when I say swagger, I'm talking more specifically about the style of directing. Spider-Man No Way Home offers a slew of beautiful shots. No Way Home was directed by John Watts. Now, I don't hate the way he directs. No, I heavily dislike it. It looks like every other MCU movie when it comes to the cinematography, editing, and camera work. But let's take a look at who directed Multiverse of... Oh my god, it's Sam Raimi! So it looks like Multiverse of Madness wins the identity round. I love the camera work. It is a 10 out of 10. The first time in an MCU film that I have seen the camera revolve like this. Not just the great style of directing, but also the colors. This film really utilizes the color balance extremely well. Civil War, although a great movie, is probably the ugliest Marvel film to come to theaters. Granted, No Way Home doesn't look bad in terms of color balance, but Multiverse of Madness is a step back from the gray filter that plagues these movies. Overall, I believe that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has more swagger, and it definitely gets more bitches. Next up, we have characters. When I say characters, I am meaning how do the characters contribute to the multiversal elements in the movie. Both films have pretty outstanding characters. I mean, it's hard to turn down 3 Spider-Mans and their coterie of supervillains. But then on the other hand, you have a slew of unique characters in the Multiverse of Madness. You got Doctor Strange, you got Wong, you got my wife, and last but not least, you got the Illuminati. As much as I love seeing 3 Spider-Mans on screen together, I'm going to have to give this one to Strange. I love how every character is there to serve a purpose, and nothing really feels like it was shoehorned in to get a reaction from the audience. Multiverse of Madness gives way to speaking a great narrative through its characters. Sorry, No Way Home, your characters were great, but mommy takes this one. I am not sure how this applies to a movie being a good multiverse movie, but this seems to be the running theme with these films nowadays, so we are just going to go with it. Doctor Strange seemed to generate a little hype after No Way Home, but I think its delay hurt its hype factor just a little bit. Spider-Man No Way Home's hype was absolutely insane. This movie didn't even need to get trailers out on time because the fans were helping market 80% of the film. But that just shows how jacked up on Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield juice we were all on. The hype was simply immaculate. This point goes to No Way Home. And now we are tied at 3 apiece. With both movies tied, we come to our final round. And this round deciphers which movie had the better multiverse cameos. In the early stages of writing this video, I believe that Multiverse of Madness had the better cameos, but when I look back at it, it appears I may have been wrong. Now I know that Raimi kills his cameos, and I love that, but when I think about it, and really ponder how it contributed to the overall plot, I don't know what these cameos were here for other than shock value. Spider-Man No Way Home has Tobey and Andrew, but they're there for a reason. They add valuable value to the story. They aren't just there for a reaction. They actually have a reason to be in the movie. So with that, Spider-Man No Way Home wins this final round and earns the coveted multiverse movie crown. Spider-Man No Way Home is a great multiversal film, and when I saw this movie on December 17th, 2021, I knew all the leaks and pretty much the script. I thought that my movie experience might have been tarnished, but I was dead wrong. It over-delivered. How was it able to do this? To this day, in 2022, I still don't know the answer. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this televised essay, then consider giving it a like. And without further ado, peace out, nerds!